Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. And today we're joined by someone very, very special. Now, he is an Indian Michelin star celebrity chef who's hosted the likes of Obama and Pope Francis. And he'll be joining us along with Ganesh Raju to talk about their first ever NFT book in Dubai called The Secret Foods of India. So welcome to the show, Vikas Khanna and Ganesh. How are you guys today?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
I'm good. So I met you guys last night and it was an amazing event that you all hosted. You guys launched the book. So can you guys tell us a little bit more about the book?
So I'll start with the inception of the book. So I submitted this book in 2014 called Sacred Foods of India. It was like getting the recipes I feel they should be more celebrated the way they are, because they are representation of such a massive culture of India, from temples to gurdwaras to synagogues to monasteries to dargahs. All these places in India have a way of expressing their love for the community and to bring everyone together through food. So I said that really strikes a chord with us. And it's also, when we look at people like us, we are the first generation immigrants living in the Western world. And I feel that a lot of our kids and all, they might not have that sense of India, because they are still looking at India in a very myopic scope, it's a very micro lens which is used to define India. So I said, so just to give them a new dimension of India, we should do something which celebrates India and massive, majestic. But it was very difficult because understanding the publishing world to do something which was so massive. And we reached out to Vedic Cosmos and they were thrilled to take this and forward. But we were still skeptical that, my mission was to reach the newer generations, to make them see India differently. But most of them would not be able to purchase such a massive book. So, And then the pandemic happened, we were all confused. And then boom, the universe was waiting for 75 years of 75 years of independence of India. And here, Mr. Ganesh enters the project.
Right. So it's done in collaboration with Akshaya.io. And you are, of course, the founder, Mr. Ganesh. So tell us, what made you take on this project? What appealed to you about it?
Well, so we've been settled in US as well, because 25 years, the founders are, this is a US based company. The founders are from US, but, we have deep roots in India. Our heart is still there. So we come from very strong technology background. We've been, doing all the leadership role at the very top companies. And we see the Web3 potential now, and that's the reason we started Akshaya. And we wanted to do something to highlight India's heritage, the culture, the traditions, and things like that. So this product, once we came to know about Vikas ji, the passion that he puts in, and it talks about the food, it highlights the thousands years of the history of making of sacred foods. We thought this is the best partnership. Nothing can be better than that. So that's what.
So it's in the metaverse now, and that's so interesting. But before I get into more about the metaverse,
it is an NFT, but it will be coming in metaverse.
Okay, so it's two separate right now. It's an NFT that people can get in a digital form, like they can buy the digital ownership of the book. Right?
You're right. Yes.
Okay. It's a very, I think, alien concept for a lot of us right now. The whole NFT world.
This thing is taking as a strong. This is the new trend. There's a buzzword all over. NFT, metaverse, Web3, and all that. This, right now, there's a lot of hype going on, but there is a real utility. That's the thing. Now, people, when they think of NFTs and things like that, they connect to all this monkey images and, cat images selling for millions of dollars, but that's not where the true value is.
I'll buy a dog image for $1 million.
I'll sell you
my dog image for $1 million.
Oh, that is worth. Yeah.
Are you talking about the dog toy?
My dog.
Your dog.
my God, Plum is such a cute dog. So this technology is the future. No, obviously there is a lot of pump and dump going on. So that's where we wanted to differentiate ourselves. We wanted to see what could be a real collector's item with a true value that can be held on for generations, right? With pride.
Okay.
So this Sacred Foods of India, this is a masterpiece.
So this book
Go ahead.
is a recipe book, or these are stories about the different foods you'll find around India, not foods like prasad you'll find around India, which is like offerings to God.
Yeah. So we divide the book in 4 parts: East, West, North, South. And we begin with talking about the recipes which belong to that part. We first talk about 2 pages, an image of that sacred place where it belongs to, then the history of that place, also giving an idea that where it is located and all those things, but almost like a guide at that moment. But when you turn to the next page, you see an image of that dish with also the history of that dish, that why this dish is significant, what this symbolizes and everything, what are the reasons? They had extreme practical reasons. Most of it's vegetarian. Actually, this entire book is vegetarian.
Oh, nice.
And then is the next page. The 4th page is about the recipe of that dish, which was the hardest job I have ever done in my life.
What, to write down recipes?
Because it was very difficult, because when you're doing recipes from streets or home cooking or restaurants, which we are doing it for the last 35 years, it's very easy for me to break down a recipe, right? Because you hit and try. It's also personal taste and everything. But these people have been cooking this without any kind of recipes, which is a total traditional thing, that they don't even measure anything. It was hard for us to capture things, and by observation and there was I remember most of the recipes were shot on Nokia phone. Like years ago, at that time you're talking about, when I would see them, and because it was a small compact camera, it became, without any intrusion, you could actually document what these guys were doing. And then I'll document that, it'll show me the ingredients. But the big issue of the recipe is not the ingredients, it's the proportion that is equal part of the recipes. And then we tried and tested these recipes, but it never tasted like those places where we had the food from. But we kept trying, and we figured out that those recipes are much deeper than we can express in the recipe format.
Oh, wow.
My biggest challenge. The food you're going to eat at Puri temple in Orissa, I'm sure you will never, ever in your life be able to replicate that. You could be the top Michelin star chef. You cannot understand, because, it is still done without any commercial sense. It's done from the heart. It's between them and the gods. So we figured out that, okay, we understand we cannot win that battle, but we can give the people that these dishes were inspired by those dishes and what we are writing those recipes. So trust me, that was a very huge challenge for all of us.
I'll teach you someday. I've replicated the recipes. I'll send it your
Okay.
way. I'm just kidding. I'm sure it was quite a challenge. And one thing I've been dying to ask you was, how was it like hosting the Obamas?
First time I cooked for president, not that time he was not a president, he was a senator in Chicago. And there was a event happening, and they said they need an Indian chef, and they flew me to Chicago. And that was a big deal for us, because, they were all American or European chefs, and they put me inside, and I heard him speak for the first time.
Nice.
And then I forget about it totally. We forgot, we moved on, we started doing other things. In 2008, I was requested to host a dinner, and I'm like, for whom? And they said, Senator Barack Obama. I'm like, oh my God, isn't from Chicago? And they said, yeah, he's signing up for president. Like, he's planning, and that was first kind of announcement and everything. I said, fantastic. I love the guy's voice. That's all I remember, his voice. And then, he kept going back on Thanksgiving, First Lady's birthdays, doing the re-election dinners. The one thing which is always so amazing is because that his love for India.
His love for India?
Yeah, I answer a question, I'm like, President, why is Indian food not popular in this country? He's saying, first you need to focus on bringing the culture here. And I totally agree with that. And since that day, I've been committed to it, that for us, it's not just those dishes which we serve in the restaurants. For us, it's very important to talk about the heritage of those dishes. And since that time till today, speaking to you right now, my entire career has been built up on the fact that we are talking about just not the modernization, Frenchification or Americanization of the dishes. It's about those dishes and the list of memories and history and how they evolved to become those dishes. Because culture is very important.
Okay, so that whole epiphany came from a conversation you had with the former president of the United States?
Yes. That time he was not the president.
Okay, so you met him before he was the president, and that's when you had this conversation with him?
Yeah. And we just asked, I'm like, wow. I felt I was being stupid to ask him that why is Indian food not popular? Like, to talk with somebody who's standing up for elections. And he says, oh, you need to promote the culture because nothing can compare to the culture of such a historical country and at the same time so modern.
So you have really done the country so proud. You've done Indians so proud, and you've made it to the top 10 global chefs. How does it feel? And do you feel like you have a responsibility to represent India and just to, like spread the culture and just bring awareness to it once again as people are losing their roots?
I'm a small molecule in this entire equation of culture. In
the foodie world, you're big, like huge, massive, must say. So
but you look at the history of Indian food, we are not even as the size of a nail tip. We are so small, and suddenly we start feeling that we are the custodians, and which I feel the words people don't understand. They put it. We are so small, we'll disappear sooner than you can imagine. But the culture remains so majestic and forever evolving. It's very difficult for anybody to take this thing on the shoulder, which I hear some people say that, I'm the custodian of Indian cuisine. I'm like, wow, This is never going to be possible. We don't even know Indian food. Call spade a spade, and most of us don't even know Indian food. It's so deep and vast and infinite that there's nobody in this planet. You need at least 20 lives to be traveling the way I travel in India like crazy to document stuff. But it's not possible for any human being to claim that, I am the master of Indian food. And I feel I take one day at a time, one project at a time, one victory or defeat at a time, and we constantly stand up and we move forward, taking the flag with us.
That's amazing. So if not the physical world, then at least the digital world you guys have already put a foot in, and that you can see, the power duo.
Their company figured out something amazing, which I have been so inspired by it. I am like, wow. We never thought in our lifetimes chefs would be taking a space in a cultural space like this, and then the digital space will blow up and reach an infinite market.
So this is a new world. So when social media, Facebooks and Instagrams came, initially when you think about it, people were questioning what's the real value behind it. Why would I put a picture of me eating in a social media? Who cares about it? Nowadays, you cannot live without it. iPhones are like an extended limb for us, right? These social media, they're all the time in the social media. But this Web3 is the next revolution. This is going to be 3 times bigger than that.
So I'm guessing you guys have a lot of crypto investments.
Well, crypto from a company standpoint, Akshaya, we do not have a crypto yet. We are planning in the future, but do not have it right now. Personally, the founders, we might have some personally, but as a company, we don't. Okay.
No, I meant personally.
Yes.
I'm sure, being so aware about that whole field.
We are early adapters, been in this space from the beginning. We've been working with all the top tech companies and helping them to innovate this space. So we are the one leading that innovation. So we thought, why not use this expertise to build this company? So that's the whole reason.
That's so interesting. Okay, Vikas, one question for you. So you were speaking of this dream you had, and in that dream you saw a dish, and then the next day you spent the entire day trying to perfect it and trying to recreate it. So what other quirky ways have you been inspired? One is a dream, any other weird ways? Not weird, unique.
Yeah, it's in the subconscious mind. It's not isolated. I remember I had a very crazy, dark and inspiring trip in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And I kept traveling there. They have a large influence which comes from Tamil Nadu in cooking, but they have the unique native style of cooking and the ingredients, the stuff. And I still remember that every time I'm using a grater, every time I grate something, I think about my time in Andaman Nicobar Island. It just is like deja vu for me because they use cactus to grate for coconut. And yeah, there's a variety of cactus, and they use that to dry it, and they use that as a grater, and especially to grate coconut and other vegetables. They have some amazing root vegetables, which are like foot yam, almost like that elephant foot yam, which we call, but they are totally different. They look like that, but they are. So for me, it is so much of travels which has happened, and so I document most of my work. But there's also so much of things in the subconscious mind, which just keeps connecting things for me. And most of the recipes, because today you guys leave tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah.
So tomorrow, once they leave, then I'm totally into the kitchen of Khanna and developing new dishes, which come from my notes, which just came as an imagination to me about the travels. So much based on the travel. But we'll be doing a lot of work from Sacred Foods also. We'll be picking up some dishes to get our own versions and be inspired to create something from there.
That's so exciting, guys. If y'all want to try out Vikas Khanna's amazing food, do head to Kinara, his restaurant in Dubai. And then he has one more in New York called Junoon. That is the, of course, award-winning restaurant that is world famous. And I'm going to ask you something. Oh yeah, Gordon Ramsay. Did you ever think of like battling it out with Gordon Ramsay since you were doing Master Chef India for so long?
No, I was one of the first people they approached in America for Master Chef America. I was one of the first person to, yeah. I lived in Hollywood for those, I think, 9 days, and we trained and we did auditions. And that time we did not know much about Master Chef at all. And this is like 2009. And I freaked out. I was like, but he was like, kept pushing me. No, you have no idea. You compliment my energy. For me to fight him is never going to be possible. I can defeat him with my calmness. But I do feel that there's something which is so amazing of him off camera too. On camera, of course, the persona and the sellability and all those things work. But off camera, absolutely gentle, so hardworking, at the same time, so committed to his team. You can't have Michelin stars and be the entertainer. You have to have some commitment to your work, your people. It's a very tough industry, and what he is off camera, I have so much of respect for that. And even now, when he's coming to New York, there'll always be a message on Instagram saying that, okay, I'm coming here, let's spend time. And it inspires me because I do stuff which are not just the kitchen based, and I diversify from every possible aspect, whatever I feel passionate about. So he gets driven by that because it's not just, for many chefs at this stage, it's all about how much money or all those things. I still feel that how much influence you can bring to the causes you believe in is the right time to open your mouth and stand up for that. I think he gets inspired by that from me.
Okay, that's so interesting. So any collabs between you two that we'll be seeing or no?
Absolutely.
Yes. We would love to partner with Vikas ji in the future. We have quite a lot of plans related to metaverse as well. So we are already have other things lined up. So you will hear about that in the coming few days as well.
So I want to ask you, Ganesh ji, like in the metaverse, do you think your avatar might win something like the most attractive man voted in a People's Magazine, like Vikas Khanna? Is that something that's possible?
Well, that kind of is happening, actually. People are building AI-based avatars and making fashion shows, making influencers, and influencers having social media account.
In the metaverse.
In metaverse, yeah, it's crazy.
So, yes. Okay, so I guess another award is coming your way, you guys. The most attractive avatars in the metaverse.
Thank you so much.
To wrap it up, do we have any advice you would give to like up-and-coming chefs who want to, or like chefs who are already in the industry but want to get that Michelin star and want to level up their restaurants and cooking?
I feel you got to have faith, you got to be patient, and please read the contracts before you sign, first of all. But I also do feel that it's very important for chefs to constantly be able to reinvent themselves. You know, the market has become extremely competitive, and with the spread of the chef world, it's I have so much respect of the new chefs because they're fighting new battles. So stay strong and stay committed to this.
Thank you so much. And where can people access the book?
Our platform, Akshaya.io, please go log in and you can even find what our vision is, what our future plans are.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And Vikas Khanna's restaurant is in Dubai called Kinara. And thank you so much, you guys, for joining us. It was a lovely chat and hope to see you all very soon and all the very best.
Great to have you for dinner last night. Thank you, man.
Thank
Bye.
you.